You're hearing Focus with Paul W. Smith on 760 WJR, where Michigan comes to talk. Well, good Thursday afternoon to you. May I be the first to say good afternoon? I mean, it's only 12:04, so you haven't heard from too many people, I don't think. Good afternoon. Welcome in to Focus with Paul W. Smith with Relentless Positive Radio. You can stream us from anywhere in the country, anywhere in the world. If you missed the show, can't be here noon to 2, podcast us. That's easy to do at WJR.com. And I certainly hope that you download the WJR app. It's free, and it's a great app to have. That's for sure. Now we've also added a way for you to view the program on WJR's Facebook and YouTube pages, live video streaming for those that are in a position to do so. Now, that doesn't change the show. We're going to still be servicing, obviously, everybody, mostly people who can listen rather than watch. But if you can watch and listen, it's a little extra something. It's added value for no additional expense.
And if you're nice, you can comment.
And if you're nice, you can comment. If you're not nice, please don't comment. But anyway, we're not going to read bad comments anyway. We will self-edit, for goodness sakes. Meanwhile, the team, that voice of Mike Parsons, our executive producer. Danielle Mason, the queen of the switches, running all of the controls necessary to make all of this possible. And Rich Luzinski, keeping an eye on our WJR traffic and weather first, because those things are always important, even when you have weather apps and traffic apps. Sometimes the good old-fashioned way of getting it with a person is the best way to get it. And Rich is the best way for us to deal with that. Now, Mike Parsons, you sent me a note. I'm having issues with Wi-Fi and everything else. So, of course, nothing new there. I can't find...
You're talking about the text message I sent you this morning?
Well, the wonderful way to wake up was that we have won a national award. We don't do the program for awards. We don't even participate in the sense that, like, I wasn't nominated by the radio station or you or anything. These are real professionals in our business that go around and listen to. They don't have to go anywhere to listen to, but listen to radio stations all across the country, hundreds, thousands of radio stations across the country. And then they have finalists, and then they have their top 20 list. And the top 20 major market news talk radio midday shows of 2025, coming in at number 5, just behind New York and Los Angeles radio stations. And by the way, ahead of many New York and Los Angeles radio stations. Coming from Detroit, which is no longer in the top 10 even. And I can tell you, having worked in New York, the resources they have in New York and Los Angeles and Boston and Chicago and all the other bigger markets are vast. So that gives you an idea of the great job Mike Parsons, our executive producer, has done. Danielle Mason running all the controls, and Rich Luzinski keeping track of traffic and weather, because I'm happy to say they call the Paul W. Smith Show in Detroit 5th in the nation.
All right.
5th in the nation.
We're a scrappy bunch, Paul. And like I said before the show, I buy the groceries and you got to cook the meal.
Well, it's nice of you to say. It's the team. You keep buying the right groceries. I'll keep trying to cook the meal properly. And we just love the fact that, first of all, we could be on the top 20 in the country, but to be 5th is very spectacular.
Yeah, so this is from a publication called Barrett Media, and I don't know, they have at least 40 program directors and radio executives who listen, and I don't know what they listen to, because like you said, this isn't something we submit for, but they've listened to, all the midday shows in markets that qualify as major market. And there's nothing you can do to help or hurt your chances. It's just you just get ranked, and where you fall is where you fall. So very proud to be number 5. We're up. Like I sound like Casey Kasem. We're up 11 spots from last year. We were 16 last year. We're 5 this year. So
we were thrilled to be on the list last year as well, and hope we can stay on that list. You never know. But congratulations to our program director, Ann Thomas.
Our host,
of course, our main boss, Steve Fenateri, Mike, who has done a great job now, more behind the scenes overseeing the Ann Arbor properties and the Detroit properties. So, I mean, it does take a team. I refrain from saying it takes a village. It does take a team, and we've got the best team, the team. So congratulations to us all. Now we get back to work, continuing to try to earn your trust. Today is Punchki Day. It's not the same.
Right.
It's not the same as when, I was on in the morning and Debbie Dingle would bring in Punchki. Before that, her husband did, Congressman John Dingle. But I bet she brought him in this morning for the morning team. Somebody probably did.
So we're actually getting him Tuesday because Fat Tuesday is Tuesday.
Well, this says Punchki Day celebrated the Thursday in the week before Ash Wednesday.
Well,
this year it takes place on February 12th. It's also called Fat Thursday.
Huh. Well, I mean, I don't think there's anything wrong with having Punchkis twice in a year instead of just one.
Yeah, I guess, and they come in very handy because if you don't eat them right away, they make excellent doorstops.
Right.
If you can lift them.
Yeah. Maybe this is the Gregorian calendar's Punchki Day.
Is it not really Punchki Day?
Maybe Thursday. Maybe it's a Punchki Day, but the traditional one is Tuesday coming up.
Well,
Fat Tuesday.
That's weird. I mean, as I said, when I got this paperwork, it snuck up on me because I know ahead of time that it's coming, but I didn't get anything about that. Right?
Let me Google Punchki Thursday. Maybe there's 2 of them. There is a Fat Thursday. So
well, today is also Fat Thursday, and I thought that was on a different day, but it always seemed to make sense to me that if you're having Punchki, and more than one, Punchik is one, but Punchki more than one, it would absolutely be Fat Thursday.
Yeah, Danielle has an answer for us, actually.
Apparently, yes. So we in America celebrate Fat Tuesday, but in Poland, they celebrate Fat Thursday. So in Poland, it's Fat Thursday.
Well, this came from the Polish team.
There you
go.
We have
teams.
Right. There you go.
We have teams in every country. That's how we got 5th in the world.
We're actually number 4 in Poland, so that's something to strive for.
We're higher rated in Poland than we are in these United States. All right, so it isn't our Punchki Day.
Yeah, American Punchki Day.
This coming Tuesday.
Correct.
Okay.
And we'll have Punchkis that day, so.
All right, so that's what we get for having any international. We're having trouble with the international, with the world, aren't we? Okay. Bondi lashes out as she's grilled on Epstein files. We'll get to all of that stuff. I got to say, I went to a wonderful event last night to help out our friends in Toledo, the Glass City, and they've got a Glass City River Walk initiative, and I went to a little fundraiser for that. Our friends Labib and Karen Hajar from the Beirut were catering it, and I would hope that people in Toledo hearing us would join Metro Parks, become a proud member, and get involved with the Glass City River Walk and everything they've got going on. It's all very good. Like we have our River Walk. They're working on their River Walk, and it's a big deal. And we were happy to be there just to show our support. You can become a member of the Metro Parks. You can become a volunteer. You can subscribe to their weekly newsletter. You can follow them on social media. MetroParksToledo.com. MetroParksToledo.com. And it was at the home of Barry and Bob Howell. And I got to meet Bob and his wife, Barry. And he happens to, on the side now, as a kind of a retirement job, have a couple of cigar stores, like 3 cigar stores called the Cigar Affair. And this one's on Conan Street in Maumee. I think he has a couple of other ones. So we enjoyed a fine cigar last night and found out that his birthday is coming up, and they're going to all be celebrating Bob Howell's birthday. So if you know Bob Howell from Maumee, give him a call and wish him a happy birthday. And I hope to share another fine cigar with him from his place, Cigar Affair. Also got to see Bob Savage. That's a big name in Toledo, and he is in charge of something called Toledo Tomorrow. He never went into the family insurance business. He went into this Northwest Ohio Regional Education Partnership, connecting youth and adults to good opportunities for their future. So it was a fruitful night last night, and it was great meeting all these people. Then I woke up with your good news about the award we just won nationwide.
Mm-hmm.
And some bad news from our friend Dario Bergamo, who along with Tom Chelani, we do the Cars and Cigars and the Hunger Free and the D and all of that. And at the Cars and Cigars, every year we have a fabulous guy named Mark Randisi who sings all these great Frank Sinatra songs like Frank Sinatra would sing them. And Dario Bergamo had to let me know that this friend of his since kindergarten, as Detroit mourns a legend who kept Frank Sinatra's spirit alive, Mark Randisi has suddenly passed away. And we didn't know anything about it, and I don't have any other information because, frankly, I can't open the obituary because of my Wi-Fi acting up. But if you've ever been to charitable events or celebrations, and thousands of people have been to Cars and Cigars over the last 11 years, they each year heard Mark Randisi sing, and he will be sorely missed, but never forgotten. Mark Randisi has passed away. We continue in focus on WJR.
The following is a paid advertisement by Family Vacation Getaways with the purpose of soliciting sales of vacation ownership. For complete details, please visit fvgradio.com. If you want a 100% complimentary stay at a luxury resort in Cancun, airfare not included, then Family Vacation Getaways is your ticket to paradise. See website for complete details. We're giving away 5 days and 4 nights to the first 50 callers who can name an animal that lays eggs and is not a bird. An animal that lays eggs and is not a bird. Do you know it? Call now, 800-951-6541. 800-951-6541. You're also eligible for an exciting bonus vacation to Orlando, Florida for just $498. And don't worry about anything ruining your plans. We can extend your travel up to 18 months. Name an animal that lays eggs and is not a bird, and you get a complimentary Cancun resort stay and an optional bonus vacation to Orlando for just $498. What are you waiting for? 800-951-6541. 800-951-6541 and give us your answer. The proceeding is not a contest and is a paid advertisement by Family Vacation Getaways and not sponsored by this program or its affiliates. This is a special alert to all Americans who own a vehicle with less than 200,000 miles with an auto warranty about to expire or with no warranty coverage at all. Due to a decline in the economy, CarShield is announcing a low-cost month-to-month vehicle protection plan that is now available to the public to save any driver out-of-pocket expenses on future auto repairs. Call now to find out how you could pay almost nothing for covered auto repairs. Yes, you heard that correctly. Pay almost nothing for covered auto repairs. An open phone line has been established for all drivers to call for a free quick quote. Call 800-220-6409 now. Drivers who are covered will not have to pay for covered repairs again. This protection plan is at an all-time low. Additionally, drivers who activate this vehicle protection today will also receive free roadside assistance, free towing, and car rental options at no additional cost. Call us for your free quick quote today. 800-220-6409. That's 800-220-6409. What do you have to lose? Call 800-220-6409. Again, 800-220-6409.
Finding excuses to not do your taxes? Well, you can start today and file for free with TurboTax on Intuit Credit Karma. Just file on your own in the Credit Karma app by February 28th and you'll pay $0. Start filing for free today. Offer only for those who didn't file with TurboTax last year.
WJR Traffic and Weather First.
This report is sponsored by Pro-Life Across America.
Hi, I'm Angie. Did you know a billboard can save a baby's life? It's true. You can make a difference by helping us spread the pro-life message to reach those who are struggling with an unplanned pregnancy. Please make a gift today. Visit prolifeacrossamerica.org.
WJR Traffic and Weather First is sponsored by Femininio Law. Wintry roads and icy parking lots can flip your day in a second. If you're in a crash or if you suffer a slip and fall, call injury attorney David Femininio. David gets it, and he gets results. Call 855-65-CRASH or go to the website getdavidgetpaid.com. An accident blocks your right lane on I-94 westbound at Shook Road. That's causing stop and go from North River Road. Another wreck on I-96 eastbound west of Pleasant Valley Road. You're slow from US 23. And watch out for a crash on 8 Mile at Haggerty Road. Now WJR Weather First from the Weather Channel. Here's your forecast.
Dry weather and a warming trend as temperatures go back above average by tomorrow and hold there through the weekend. 30 this afternoon, slightly below normal. Seeing a little more cloud come in. Tonight, overcast for a time, 18 degrees. Suburbs will be a little bit colder. Friday, sun's back, upper 30s. Saturday, sunny, upper 30s, maybe 40. Then on Sunday and President's Day, Monday, partly sunny with a high temperature close to 40 both days. From the Weather Channel, I'm meteorologist Ray Stagik on 760 WJR, where Michigan comes to talk.
Kick back with Lomas Brown and Anthony Bellino. An hour of smart, fun, Detroit-style sports talk. Insight, interviews, and laughs. Everything you need to stay in the game on Sports Wrap. 6 to 7 p.m. on 760 WJR.
Well, we start off now trying to work our way into Relentless Positive Radio. There are a lot of stories that are going to make that a little more difficult today, but we do it with the master, managing partner of Flood Law, the founder of Flood Law, PLLC host, or rather PLLC, and host of Behind the Bench with Todd Flood on WJR. Todd Flood helps guide us through a lot of interesting stories. Todd, good afternoon. Nice to have you back with us, my friend.
Always a pleasure with you, Paul W. Thank you.
I have to tell you, watching this morning, more than I wanted to, but watching this morning, the hearing on the Epstein files and watching Pam Bondi testifying and the fighting that went on, it's really, as an American citizen, pretty disgusting to me the way these people who are supposed to work together in Washington now very openly despise each other and criticize and put down each other. The idea of any kind of professional decorum has long disappeared, and I'm not happy with that. Give me some of your thoughts.
Well, candidly, we've polarized each other so much on both sides. What took place in the House Judiciary Committee, just a regular oversight committee meetings should have been, calling the DOJ head there, Pam Bondi. Instead of having a honest conversation with diplomacy, regardless of what side of the aisle you're on, it looked as though it was more about throwing stones and not solving any issues on both sides of the fence. And it's just disgusting in a large way. It has happened before. I haven't seen anything like this in the past 10 years, scrolling through, with the DOJ leader, with, the Department of Justice head and the Oversight Committee. I've never seen this type of vitriol that took place. I mean, calling someone a washed up loser lawyer, then trying to do the turnaround and put her on the spot to apologize to the survivors and victims and having
which
them
in itself was ridiculous. And now they're the news media, the institutional lamestream media is using that. She wouldn't even turn around and apologize. What exactly was she supposed to apologize for? For Epstein? Why? How?
Yeah.
I mean, come on, folks. Let's not put each other in unrealistic circumstances.
That was just a gotcha game, Paul W. That was just some trick of trade to try to put someone on the spot to show them up. What is that all about? Other than just trying to do a gotcha game. The fact of the matter is this. There were several things, there were several topics that were to be discussed, from the not being able to get a indictment on the Congress people and senators as it relates to the commercial, and then Epstein in and of itself. What happened? How did you screw up on the redactions? Is that fixed? Is there some sort of oversight there that this won't happen again? How do you reveal who the survivors are? Then, what is it, you're going to do to show?
And those, by the way, those are legitimate questions. How did that happen?
Yeah, those are legitimate, but as opposed to try to get to the bottom of that and solve this issue, right, and come up with a better way, they were just being judgmental, talking about each other and screaming from the balcony. And that, to me, is what you're saying and what we love about our great politicians and our people that stand up for us and and the citizenry. We're missing something here, right? We're missing common sense, and it's the vitriol. I mean, I love, the people that stand up for us in our district, but please, what we saw yesterday was not anything that should be tolerated by us, by our, because it was nothing more than a show.
A show like the gladiators were entertainment. Killing people was entertainment. Right. We've supposedly come way past that. But trying to kill someone's character, trying to kill their reputation, it's unacceptable. And by the way, if you do need to do that because somebody deserves it, you do it in a nicer way so that you don't turn people off because of your approach. And that, Amen. By the way, that's a lesson that can be learned at the highest levels in Washington, D.C. But that's not what we're talking about.
I agree. Diplomacy was missing.
In total, missing.
Yeah.
It was, and if you found yourself laughing when Pam Bondi goes, "You're a washed-up loser politician." Oh my!
Right.
Good golly, Miss Molly. He probably is a washed-up loser. Clearly, he's a politician, and most of the people in that room were, in a sense, washed-up loser politicians. But if we're going to pretend that this government works, which, by the way, we aren't doing a good job of that because we can't even fund the government. But let's move on. Let's move on to a sad, horrible local story. Are you involved at all in the Oxford Center story?
I am. I represent Gary Markin, and the district court judge said there was probable cause to believe that a crime was committed and probable cause to believe that the four people committed this crime on a murder too. I am going to be diplomatic. I just, respectfully disagree with the court, and we're going to go at it and put the case to another judge up in the circuit court. And we have to fight our battles. This is a tragic, ugly, sad case where my heart and my client's heart go out to the family of the lost loved one. Little Mr. Cooper there, Thomas Cooper. But at the end of the day, this is not murder too. You got to think there was a willful wanton disregard, knowing that either death or great bodily harm could happen. If that were the case, my client's family, my client's kids would have never used the machine in the first place, but they used it themselves. If they thought that something bad was going to happen, they surely would do it. But all of that being said, the judge listened to it. She found it one way. We have to go at it and do our thing.
So there is going to be a trial in the hyperbaric chamber death of this little 5-year-old boy. It's a horrific story. They're putting forward that the center's manual even included a safety warning saying if there's a fire inside the chamber, there's a realistic chance the person inside will not survive. I'm kind of liking that. It's kind of gruesome too, but when you go to a restaurant and you give them your coat at the coat check, there's usually a sign that says not responsible for lost coats. They can put as many signs as they want, but the reality is they're still responsible.
Yeah, but you wouldn't hold the maintenance person for the back room responsible for the lost coat unless he was involved in it. And that's Paul Harvey's rest of the story, because Gary Markin really, there wasn't a witness that said he was responsible or had anything to do with this. And there was context about being a right-hand man. He was the right-hand man for the maintenance. All that being said, this is a case that I hopefully can get it, to a judge, and the judge have it kicked out prior to a jury trial. But if we have to go to a jury trial, we're going to put 12 people in the box, and you're presumed innocent before anything else in this world, and we'll go at it. That's the bottom line.
Todd Flood, managing partner, Flood Law, PLLC, founder of Flood Law, also host of Behind the Bench with Todd Flood right here on WJR. Thank you for your expertise, Todd, as always.
Thank you, Paul W. Have a great day.
You do the same. We continue in focus with Paul W. Smith on WJR.
Not sure how to tackle your taxes? Are you sweating the small print? You may be experiencing FOMO, the fear of messing up. The answer? Using TurboTax on Intuit Credit Karma. They help you get your biggest refund, and then we help you do more with it, with a personalized plan designed to help you hit your money goals. It's time to take your taxes to the max. Start filing today in the Credit Karma app.
Score major deals on top brands at Mattress Firm's President's Day sale. Find your dream mattress today. Their sleep experts are highly trained to find the right one to fit your unique needs. They make sleep easy.
The headlines are full of major legal cases, both locally and nationally. But do we ever really get the inside story? Join Todd Flood of Flood Law on Behind the Bench this Monday at 8 p.m. to get the inside story. Todd will speak with judges, attorneys, and other special guests to explain what the real legal issues are behind the biggest cases. Todd will also discuss the current legal landscape and what you need to do to navigate the system for your best outcome. Behind the Bench with Todd Flood this Monday at 8 p.m.
Texting enrolls you in a recurring automated marketing text messages. Consent not required to purchase. Message and data rates may apply.
The team's looking good this season.
I think so. Man, I miss playing football. Ever since I turned 40, I just can't find that fire I used to have.
Think it could be lower testosterone?
What do you mean?
I was feeling the same way. After 40, the body has less testosterone, and men lose their edge. That's why I take Nugenix Total T2.
That's the testosterone booster, right?
Yes, but Total T2 is their brand new formula that skyrockets nitric oxide levels in as little as 3 hours. Since I started taking it, I've been lifting like when we played for Coach Carter. My energy is way up, and it even spiced up things between me and the missus.
Are they still giving out complimentary bottles?
Yep, just send a text.
Text HIM to 215-215 for your complimentary bottle of Nugenix Total T2, the next generation testosterone booster. Text now and we'll include a bottle of Nugenix Thermo X, our newest, most powerful fat burner ever, absolutely free. Text HIM to 215-215. That's HIM to 215-215.
These statements have not been evaluated by the FDA. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease. Paid for by Adaptive Health.
Now WJR Health Watch. Here's Lloyd Jackson.
If knee pain is limiting your work, workouts, or your daily life, surgery may not be your only option. Dr. Saul Kogan from the Nerve and Disc Institute explains how Knee Restore RX can help you avoid knee surgery.
We took that same technology and that same philosophy that we've been doing to help people avoid spine surgery, took it to the knees, started doing it with friends and family about 5 or 6 years ago. And when we saw good results, we started allowing our existing patients to do it that had knee problems. And then we opened it up after we saw about a 90% success rate. We opened it up to other people.
Dr. Kogan says many knee problems come from poor biomechanics of the joint, in addition to inadequate joint lubrication and nutrient exchange. Knee Restore RX improves both, helping the joint function better instead of just numbing the pain. During treatment, it's gentle, non-invasive, and typically under 30 minutes. I asked Dr. Kogan, how many sessions do most patients need?
So, listen, it's typical patient may be as few as 15 visits, might be as many as 30. A lot of people are somewhere in the middle. I would say 90% of the people I see notice a difference somewhere between 3 and 5 weeks.
Dr. Kogan says Restore RX can help those with arthritis, cartilage wear, meniscus damage, overuse injuries, and chronic knee pain, but also those with sports-related injuries.
We see a ton of people that have sports-related injuries or chronic injuries. You know, maybe someone like our age that played sports in high school and was a little active as an adult, didn't realize how old they were, and then they've got these aches and pains. We see people like that, and they get great results.
For a free consultation, call the Nerve and Disc Institute at 586-416-DISC. I'm Lloyd Jackson for WJR Health Watch.
The American Red Cross is facing a severe blood shortage, and donors are needed right now to make sure life-saving care isn't delayed for accident victims, surgery patients, and those facing critical treatments for cancer and chronic blood disorders. The Red Cross blood supply has dropped about 35% in recent weeks. There's no time to wait. Make an appointment today to give blood by using the Red Cross Blood Donor app, visiting redcrossblood.org, or calling 1-800-RED-CROSS to schedule your donation. Take action and help save lives.
You're hearing Focus with Paul W. Smith on 760 WJR, where Michigan comes to talk.
Front page of today's The award-winning Detroit News. Governor plans sin taxes, tapping savings to balance the budget. This was released yesterday. And we're going to ask State Representative, the Republican from the 49th District, Ann Boland, to give us her thoughts on the budget and then also talk a little bit about the fact that she testified in front of Congress on election integrity earlier this week. Representative Boland, welcome to the Paul W. Smith Focus Show.
Well, thank you very much. Thanks for having me.
The thing that caught my attention that really made me, I mean, the fact that one headline is Whitmer has tax cuts for some, tax hikes for others, that's normal. The governor plans sin taxes, that's kind of normal too. It's easy to go after sin taxes. But tapping savings to balance the budget, please tell me that isn't what it sounds like.
Well, that is what it sounds like. That is what the governor has proposed, but I will tell you that I do not think that we are in a state of an emergency and that we need to be pulling from our rainy day fund. We worked very hard over the last number of years to build that up to over, $2 billion for the purposes of a rainy day. I don't think we're in that situation. I think that the governor has, presented $800 million in new revenue, and I think where we need to do to balance the budget is find $800 million worth of cuts before we even entertain any taxes. And some of the taxes are for some.
I have to tell you, that's good news, because I didn't read it initially as taking $400 million out of the rainy day fund. I honestly looked at it and thought, well, it's come to this. Those of us who have worked all our lives, 60 years or more, to save money so that we do not become an anchor on our family or our government, so that we can pay for our retirement. I thought she meant she was going to go after the savings we have and retax them. That's how scared I got.
Well,
our savings, our individual savings.
No, but you know what? The government has no money of its own. So digging into the savings bank of the state, I mean, that ultimately can harm people across the state of Michigan. So we need to work very hard. Life is getting less and less affordable for people across Michigan. And there are some proposals in there that we're going to try to offer tax cuts the governor's proposing, school supply tax credit holidays for an abbreviated period in the fall around the start of school. Well, that benefits only families that have children in school. Senior citizen property tax cut in the form of an income tax credit with an income of $71,000 or lower. That benefits just, a small portion of seniors. And what I will be looking for in developing the state budget is, one, making sure it's fiscally responsible and sustainable, but two, trying to give across the board measures that are going to make life more affordable for people across the state.
Well, God bless you for that. We need that. And on the sin tax, it's hard for anybody to try to, it's sad and unfortunate if you smoke cigarettes. I mean, it just is, because it's not good for you. And you're beyond the age now where back in the day when my dad started smoking, they actually told him it was good for him to smoke. That's been long gone. So it's going to be hard for anybody to fight that part of a sin tax on tobacco, for example. Now they're going after the younger people with some tax money they hope to make, $95 million in new revenue from a tax hike on vaping products. People shouldn't be vaping anyway. Those things are made in China. Who knows what you're bringing into your system? It's not good for you. I can just tell you that. I said it from the day.
Yes. Yes, they are very harmful to your health, but there are other things, other taxes with digital advertising, iGaming, just to bring it up to par with other states. And all of this is to shore up the Medicaid shortage. All right. And I think that first, how we have to address the Medicaid, one, I want to take care of our most vulnerable. All right. That's extremely important that we have access to quality health care for everybody across the state. We have great health care available to us, but we need to make sure it's more accessible across the state. And lots of innovation in the way we practice health. But we have to make sure that we have, people who truly do need Medicaid are the ones that are on it, that is reasonable and sound benefit, that, what you would buy in a commercial insurance is what we should be providing. And I do think there's ways that we can cut our Medicaid costs before we're trying to increase taxes to make up for the shortfall. We do have to find the waste and fraud and, again, make sure that we can deliver to those that are most vulnerable.
I want to get to what we originally asked you to come on for before this was released yesterday, the new budget. But you, Representative Boland, I'll tell my listeners, Representative Boland is a longtime advocate for strengthening elections and improving public confidence in the democratic process, which is why she offered congressional testimony before the U.S. House Committee on House Administration in Washington, D.C., which has oversight authority over federal elections. Tell us how that went. I hope it went better with more civility than what we just watched on television over the last couple of days with the hearings in Washington. How did yours go?
Well, I think it went very well. It was a very different experience to be in front of a congressional committee. I was hoping to ask questions, but I did submit written testimony. And really the subject was, we hear a lot about President Trump saying federalizing elections. I do not support federalizing elections, and I do not think that's the intent of the president at all. What I do think we need is universal baseline standards across this great nation. We have done this before. We did it with the NVRA. We did it when we, after the 2000 presidential election with the hang chance and adopted the Help America Vote Act. We've done it with the Military and Overseas Voters Act. We've done this before to alleviate the confusion and to develop the standards. We all want to strengthen elections. The goal has to be every eligible voter can vote freely, secretly, independently, and securely. And we want U.S. citizens voting in our U.S. elections. And we need proof of, photo ID, proof of citizenship. These are not high threshold measures at all. And I think that anyone who says
that having an ID required is basically racist and putting down people to make us believe that those people they're representing and protecting aren't smart enough to know how to get an ID. That is racist by itself. And to fight an ID required for something as important as voting really sheds a light on what these people are actually up to and how wrong they are. I'll quote you because we got to go. Election integrity is a broad term, and it has become a divisive label that fuels assumptions about people's motives. If someone speaks in favor of election integrity, they are branded with a MAGA label or called an election denier. If someone raises concerns about access, they're accused of ignoring security. That dynamic erodes trust and distracts from the shared goal, what should be the shared goal of strong elections. God bless you for the fight you're fighting. Keep up the good work, State Representative, Republican, 49th District, Ann Boland. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you so much. Have a great afternoon.
You do the same as we continue, and you continue on your way to making each and every day count, because each day is a gift. Well, this Michigan winter, can be hard on everything and everyone. It's especially hard on your roof, and that's pretty important because it protects your family and your stuff. Victor, the owner of Victor's Home Solutions, says be on the lookout for these signs of roofing problems. Could be brown stains on the ceiling, icicles hanging from your gutter, uneven snow melt on your roof. All of these, Victor says, are obvious signs of winter roof problems. And if you see any of them, you need to call a licensed roofer contractor immediately. Problem is, a lot of roofers in Michigan shut down in the winter, but not Victor's Roofing. They're open 52 weeks a year because that's when problems can happen at any time during the year. No matter the weather, they can be at your home within 24 hours. Do a 21-point roof inspection. Go over their findings with you and recommend a course of action. They can repair or replace your roof in just about any weather condition. If it is time for a new roof, Victor's offers an industry best 50-year leak-free guarantee. That means if anything goes wrong, they'll fix it for free. They did my roof a few years ago. Replacement Roof did an excellent job. So much so, as a paying customer, I then had them also do a new roof on a new structure that we had. World-class customer service and workmanship, more 5-star reviews on Google than any other roofer in the great state of Michigan. Make sure your roof is ready to take on this winter, the rest of it. Schedule your free 21-point roof inspection today. It's easy. The phone number, easy to remember, 866-VICTORS, 866-VICTORS. Of course, you can make an appointment online, and that's simple, too. You merely go to victors.com. There you have it. Peace of mind, a phone call away, 866-VICTORS, or online at victors.com. We continue in focus with Paul W. Jr.
Making waves at a new location.
The Progressive Detroit Boat Show moves to Novi.
We like big boats.
You will too.
Step aboard cruisers to 45 feet.
Ski boats, pontoons, fishing boats, and more.
Got a boat? Shop engines, electronics, and accessories.
Meet Captain Lee from Below Deck on Bravo TV.
Don't miss the Detroit Boat Show at a new location. Suburban Collection Showplace, Novi. Happening Thursday through Sunday.
Tickets at DetroitBoatShow.net.
It's time to buy that boat.
This is Keith Kingston, tax partner at Metro Detroit accounting firm Schindel Rock, with our weekly tax tip for business owners. 100% bonus depreciation is back. Qualifying assets placed in service after January 19th, 2025 can now be fully expensed in the first year. This means immediate tax savings for businesses. Consult with your CPA to see if 100% bonus depreciation is the best strategy for you. Schindel Rock helps Metro Detroit businesses solve complex tax matters. Learn more at SchindelRock.com.
The following is a paid advertisement by Family Vacation Getaways with the purpose of soliciting sales of vacation ownership. For complete details, please visit fvgradio.com. If you want a 100% complimentary stay at a luxury resort in Cancun, airfare not included, then Family Vacation Getaways is your ticket to paradise. See website for complete details. We're giving away 5 days and 4 nights to the first 50 callers who can name an animal that lays eggs and is not a bird. An animal that lays eggs and is not a bird. Do you know it? Call now, 800-951-6541. 800-951-6541. You're also eligible for an exciting bonus vacation to Orlando, Florida for just $498. And don't worry about anything ruining your plans. We can extend your travel up to 18 months. Name an animal that lays eggs and is not a bird, and you get a complimentary Cancun resort stay and an optional bonus vacation to Orlando for just $498. What are you waiting for? 800-951-6541. 800-951-6541 and give us your answer. The proceeding is not a contest and is a paid advertisement by Family Vacation Getaways and not sponsored by this program or its affiliates.
Don't let tax refund worries hold you back. File now with TurboTax on Intuit Credit Karma. They'll find every credit and deduction to help you get every refund dollar you deserve, or your money back. Start filing today in the Credit Karma app.
Enrolls you in a recurring automated marketing text messages. Consent not required to purchase. Message and data rates may apply.
The team's looking good this season.
I think so. Man, I miss playing football. Ever since I turned 40, I just can't find that fire I used to have.
Think it could be lower testosterone?
What do you mean?
I was feeling the same way. After 40, the body has less testosterone, and men lose their edge. That's why I take Nugenix Total T2.
That's the testosterone booster, right?
Yes, but Total T2 is their brand new formula that skyrockets nitric oxide levels in as little as 3 hours. Since I started taking it, I've been lifting like when we played for Coach Carter. My energy is way up, and it even spiced up things between me and the missus.
Are they still giving out complimentary bottles?
Yep, just send a text.
Text HIM to 215-215 for your complimentary bottle of Nugenix Total T2, the next generation testosterone booster. Text now and we'll include a bottle of Nugenix Thermo X, our newest, most powerful fat burner ever, absolutely free. Text HIM to 215-215. That's HIM to 215-215.
These statements have not been evaluated by the FDA. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease. Paid for by Adaptive Health.
Are you stuck staring at your W-2? Are tax refund worries holding you back? You probably have FOMO, the fear of messing up. The fix? Using TurboTax on Intuit Credit Karma. They find every credit and deduct to help you get every refund dollar you deserve, or your money back. It's time to overcome your fear of messing up and get your taxes done right. Start filing today in the Credit Karma app.
WJR Traffic and Weather First.
This report is sponsored by SuperSure.
Do you own a small business? You need to hear this. A seismic shift is coming. It's time to get super sure. Not kind of sure, not pretty sure, not a little sure, but super sure. The seismic shift is coming. Super sure, coming soon.
WJR Traffic and Weather First is sponsored by NECA, IBEW Local 58. Count on the Powering Michigan team of IBEW 58 skilled electricians and NECA signatory contractors for your next commercial, industrial, public, or residential construction project. The best electricians, the best electrical contractors, period. Learn more at poweringmichigansfuture.com. We still have that wreck on I-94 westbound at Shook Road. That's causing stop and go from North River Road. Another accident on 8 Mile at Haggerty Road. And that crash on I-96 eastbound west of Pleasant Valley Road has cleared. Now WJR Weather First from the Weather Channel. Here's your forecast.
Starting to see a little more cloud as we roll through the remainder of today. Coldest of the next several days will be today, near 30. Tonight will drop to 18. Suburbs probably low to mid-teens. Friday, sunshine, upper 30s. Saturday, mostly sunny, upper 30s. Then Sunday and Monday, President's Day, partly sunny, high near 40. From the Weather Channel, I'm meteorologist Ray Stajic, 760 WJR, where Michigan comes to talk.
Call us or text us. The number's the same. 1-800-859-0957. 1-800-859-0WJR. Powered by Michigan Auto Law. Auto Accident Attorneys. Visit autolaw.com. That's autolaw.com.
Well, it's now day 12, believe it or not, in the investigation into the disappearance of 84-year-old Nancy Guthrie, mother of Today's Show host Savannah Guthrie, of course. WJR's Marie Osborne, who is our Director of Community Affairs and News, brings us the very latest this afternoon. Marie?
And hi there, Paul. So this morning, a white tent was erected right outside the front door of the home of Nancy Guthrie. FBI forensic teams have been seen moving in and out of that tent all day. In addition, investigators are now testing a pair of black gloves found about a mile and a half from the Guthrie home in the Catalina foothills. It's not clear whether they've linked this to this masked person that we've seen on surveillance video the night that Nancy Guthrie vanished. Deputies and FBI teams were back out in the desert overnight. They searched brush and rocky terrain along a nearby roadside. Officials are not saying what led them to that location. Investigators are also requesting Ring doorbell videos from homes around the area. The gloves were found just days after the FBI released this image of this masked person on Guthrie's porch wearing a backpack, what appears to be a holster. It shows a person reaching towards the camera before the recording cuts off. Law enforcement officials, Paul, say that they've received 18,000 tips since Guthrie was reported missing, and a large portion of them in the last few days. Savannah Guthrie also posting a video of her mom on Instagram today, showing her and her siblings as children with their mom when she was young. The message, our lovely mom, we will never give up on her. Thank you for your prayers and your hope.
Well, we've all been in this together. This happens when someone comes into our home on a regular basis, like on a morning television show or a morning radio show. We feel a certain affinity. We feel like we know them. And so there are an awful lot of people involved in this who are feeling a personal loss, as strange as that may sound. So people want to help, and they want to give any information they can. We give out the number, 1-800-CALL-FBI, 1-800-CALL-FBI, because somebody might have passed through there. They're here now within the sound of our voice. Somebody might be streaming us from anywhere. So we give out that number because we all want this to come to a good ending. As each day goes by, that gets less likely. But Marie, you just said it. Can you imagine having to go through 18,000 phone tips? And you have, unless they're really absurd, you must think of each one of them as a very serious tip that has to be followed.
Yep, you can't blow any of them off. You have to take them all seriously. And, they're built for this. The FBI, law enforcement, they're built for this. They have teams that know how to, if you and I sat down to do it, we'd be overwhelmed. But they have ways of doing this. But 18,000 tips. And I saw and read that I think more than 6,000 of them have come in since that video was released.
And I have to say, honestly, I really thought that within 24 hours of that video being released, we were going to hear that they picked someone up. Mm-hmm. Did you think that for a second?
I did.
Maybe that's wishful thinking that we had, but I thought there were so many things in that video they could follow up on. And they are: the backpack and where it's sold, and the shoes, and the gun being worn weirdly in the wrong kind of holster, and his eyes and his eyebrows, and apparently a mustache, and all of these things. I guess it was just wishful thinking and hopeful thinking that once that video was released. Now, I'm going to say forever that it is unfortunate it couldn't have been found and released days ago. I think that in the end, that could be problematic. But I'm not guessing the outcome. I don't want to guess the outcome for this 84-year-old Nancy Guthrie. But honestly, and I'm happy to hear you say it too, because you're following this and you're a news person, and you follow it in a better way than I do. I just emotionally follow it. I thought once that video was out there, I thought, oh my gosh, it's a cornucopia of stuff to look at, and somebody's going to recognize the clothing, the gait, the unusual way that he kind of moped around, and all the rest of it. But it hasn't happened yet. Or if it has, they haven't told us, I guess. Is that right?
No, that's, and that's always a possibility. We always have to remember that thank goodness the law enforcement does keep things to themselves for a very good reason. We always have to remember that. I was thinking back on the case of the United Healthcare president who was shot and killed on the street. And remember, we had the video of that individual, and then we had a close-up of his face. And it wasn't until they got, even wearing the mask, but they still identified him. But, remember, that even took, even after the release of that video, it took a while for someone to figure out who that was, and they saw him in a McDonald's. So right. You just don't ever know when that tip's going to come in. That's going to be the right one.
When you see something, say something, do something, and they're still waiting for that as far as we can tell. Marie Osborne, WJR Director of Community Affairs and News, thank you for your excellent work, as always. You're a part of the reason why we won the best in the country, 5th in major markets throughout the whole country, 5th for our midday show. Thank you much. We continue.
LifeLock, how can I help?
The IRS said I filed my return, but I haven't.
1 in 4 tax-paying Americans has paid the price of identity fraud.
What do I do?
My refund, though.
I'm freaking out.
Don't worry, I can fix this.
LifeLock fixes identity theft guaranteed and gets your money back with up to $3 million in coverage.
I'm so relieved.
No problem. I'll be with you every step of the way.
1 in 4 was a fraud-paying American. Not anymore. Save up to 40% your first year with promo code NEWS at LifeLock.com. Terms apply.
Are you 50 or older? This news is for you. The CDC recommends you get vaccinated against pneumococcal pneumonia. Even if you're healthy, your age puts you at risk. People 50 or older are over 6 times more likely to be hospitalized with pneumococcal pneumonia compared to adults 18 to 49. Just one shot can help protect you. Learn more and schedule at vaxassist.com. That's VAXassist.com. Sponsored by Pfizer.
Making waves at a new location.
The Progressive Detroit Boat Show moves to Novi.
We like big boats.
You will too.
Step aboard cruisers to 45 feet.
Ski boats, pontoons, fishing boats, and more.
Got a boat? Shop engines, electronics, and accessories.
Meet Captain Lee from Below Deck on Bravo TV.
Don't miss the Detroit Boat Show at a new location, Suburban Collection Showplace, Novi. Happening Thursday through Sunday.
Tickets at DetroitBoatShow.net.
It's time to buy that boat.
Every day, unsung heroes are transforming our neighborhoods. And 760 WJR's Michigan Voices with me, Marie Osborne, is here to tell their stories. But we need your help to find them. Do you know a local nonprofit or other community organization making an impact? Help us shine a spotlight on their work. Email the details to michiganvoices@wjr.com. Let's join forces to amplify the people building a better Michigan. Michigan Voices, Sunday mornings at 5:30, only on 760 WJR.
WJR, Detroit.
I'm Lisa Brady, Fox News. The Borders are announcing that a federal surge for immigration enforcement is ending in the state where 2 protesters were killed during confrontations with federal agents.
There were some issues here, and we addressed those issues. But I'm not going to sit here and say anybody did anything wrong and that, they were, unprofessional.
Tom Homan also says there's been unprecedented cooperation in recent weeks to target illegal immigrants with criminal records, though the Minnesota governor insists the state hasn't done anything differently. Fraud claims in Minnesota remain under state and federal investigation and under scrutiny on Capitol Hill, with a Senate hearing getting heated today.
Minnesota Attorney General Keith Ellison went from demanding transparency of ICE actions to being grilled by Republicans, accusing him of not cooperating with federal law enforcement to alleged ties to fraudsters. In Minnesota's billion-dollar fraud crisis, Missouri Senator Josh Hawley.
You've been right at the center of this fraud thing from the beginning, and you've enabled it. And, sir,
the false
you
statement.
should resign.
And, sir, you should resign. I was thinking the same thing about you.
Ellison and other Democrats demanding that ICE be reformed amid the announcement of the end of Operation Metro Surge in Minneapolis.
Fox's Jeff Manasso. Current Homeland Security funding runs out tomorrow night if there's no deal on immigration enforcement reforms or an extension.
Funding for ICE and the Department of Homeland Security should not move forward in the absence of dramatic changes that are bold, meaningful, and transformational. Period. Full stop.
House Minority Leader Hakeem Jeffries, though ICE funding was already extended in a bill last year. On day 12 of the search for her mom, Nancy Savannah Guthrie, posting a home video and photo from her childhood, writing that they will never give up on her. Investigators from multiple agencies continue that probe. America is listening to Fox News.
You in recurring automated marketing text messages. Consent not required to purchase. Message and data rates may apply.
The team's looking good this season.
I think so. Man, I miss playing football. Ever since I turned 40, I just can't find that fire I used to have.
Think it could be lower testosterone?
What do you mean?
I was feeling the same way. After 40, the body has less testosterone, and men lose their edge. That's why I take Nugenix Total T2.
That's the testosterone booster, right?
Yes, but Total T2 is their brand new formula that skyrockets nitric oxide levels in as little as 3 hours. Since I started taking it, I've been lifting like when we played for Coach Carter. My energy is way up, and it even spiced up things between me and the missus.
Are they still giving out complimentary bottles?
Yep, just send a text.
Text HIM to 215-215 for your complimentary bottle of Nugenix Total T2, the next generation testosterone booster. Text now and we'll include a bottle of Nugenix Thermo X, our newest, most powerful fat burner ever, absolutely free. Text HIM to 215-215. That's HIM to 215-215.
These statements have not been evaluated by the FDA. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease. Paid for by Adaptive Health.
It's tax season, and at LifeLock, we know you're tired of numbers. But here's a big one you need to hear. Billions. That's the amount of money in refunds the IRS has flagged for possible identity fraud. Now here's another big number. 100 million. That's how many data points LifeLock monitors every second. If your identity is stolen, we'll fix it guaranteed. One last big number. Save up to 40% your first year with promo code NEWS. Visit LifeLock.com for the threats you can't control. Terms apply.
Let's go.
You're still grooving, still connecting, still loving, still turning up, still thriving. You still got it, but your immune system, it weakens as you age. That's where vaccines come in. They help train and strengthen your immune response to fight off respiratory illnesses like flu, pneumococcal pneumonia, RSV, or COVID-19. Ask your doctor or pharmacist which vaccines you need. Book in minutes at vaxassist.com. Sponsored by Pfizer.
This is Focus with Paul W. Smith on 760 WJR, where Michigan comes to talk.
Welcome into hour two. We got a lot going on, that's for sure. Along the way, we continue to strive for relentless positive radio. You can stream us from anywhere in the country or the world. If you miss us from noon to 2, you can podcast us at WJR.com. I certainly hope you have the WJR app. It's free. And we started something new where, though it doesn't affect the actual broadcast, it gives you an added opportunity to be a part of the show by watching. If you're in a JR's Facebook or YouTube pages, live video streaming. We want to have as many connections with you as we possibly can on our way to Relentless Positive Radio. And the team doing a marvelous job. Mike Parsons, executive producer, Danielle Mason, queen of the switches, Rich Luzinski, keeping track of our WJR traffic and weather first. Don't just take it from me that they're doing a great job. Take it from an organization that we really had nothing to do with until we found out. A wonderful, highly esteemed organization, Barrett Media, that the Paul W. Smith Detroit show, that's the way they have it listed, Paul W. Smith Detroit, is number 5 in the top 20 major markets for a midday radio talk show. Number 5 in the country out of thousands of talk shows around the country, beating out many stations from New York, Los Angeles, Chicago, any number of larger markets with greater resources than we have. So we're like Detroit, feisty, hungry, and fighters, and it's paid off. And we thank you as our listeners. You choose to be an important part of the best and brightest audience in radio as you're on your way to making the most of it, making each and every day count, because you know each day is a gift, and we just need a reminder. And the reminder, too, about QTR, quality time remaining. We don't know how much of that we have. But anyway, congratulations to the team, Mike, Danielle, Rich, the people behind the scenes, Ann Thomas, Mike Wheeler, Steve Finateri, all the other unnamed people behind the scenes that make it possible for us to do the best we can at our job, and to find out in major market news talk radio, midday shows of 2025 of this whole past year, we were 5th in the country. That's just astonishing, and I hope you guys feel good about that.
Well, and congrats to you too, Paul.
Well, as you said, you buy the groceries, I cook them.
That's
Is that
right.
What you said?
Yeah, that's what they when they're talking about like general managers and coaches in sports. I buy the groceries, you cook the meal.
Well, there you are. It's a team. It's, as I've always said, the team. And one other thing is we try Relentless Positive Radio, and in a world where negativity has just gone crazy, and we can't always be positive because look at the news. It's not always easy, but we're doing the best we can. Here's some bad news from the Olympics. And, you know, how many times are we going to go through this? Guess who gave the lowest score on the 9-person panel that made sure Chalk and Bates, our ice skaters who deserved the gold medal, guess who gave them the lowest score?
I know.
You do know. It was the French judge. The French judge's score for Chalk and Bates the lowest on the 9-person panel. And of course, you know who they gave the highest score to, and you know who danced away with the gold at the 2026 Winter Olympics. It was the French team.
By 1.48 points.
I'm so tired of this, but it's not the first time we found that the voting in this especially is so very subjective and can be thrown by one lousy French judge.
I love it when I'm watching figure skating or gymnastics in the Summer Olympics, and it looks like they do a perfect routine, and the commentator's like, ooh, that's going to be a big deduction.
Yeah, because we don't know what we're looking at. I mean, we don't get it. But this we get. This, my friends, we get.
Right.
Now, there's a story about somebody from Ukraine. You can't fault him for wanting to honor the war dead. And let's face it, if you're from Ukraine, there's a lot of war dead. And you know people who've died. Your friends and family members have died. But there are some very strict rules prohibiting anything that could be thought of as a political statement. While you and I might disagree with this rule, that is the rule. And at first I said, well, this is just ridiculous. But then I realized they said, wear a different helmet and a black armband to pay tribute to those who have died in your country. But the guy wouldn't do that. He wouldn't not wear the helmet, and he would not back down, because in his words, there are some things that are more important than medals.
Yeah, and
so you got to give him credit for that as well.
Yeah, and look, I'm sure he knew the rules. I'm sure he probably knew that there was a very good chance that he would be disqualified. And I think you work your whole life to get to that stage, and he probably thought to himself, what's more important to me in this moment? Competing in the Olympics or getting my message heard? And I think he made the choice, and the Olympics are very clear about it, and he decided to wear the helmet anyway, and I respect him for it. Because
would you have worn the black armband, or would you have stood your position? And I mean, so he's got a day of everyone talking about it, but if he were in the Olympics, they'd probably talk about it every day for several days.
I mean, my current situation now, I would say I would wear the armband, but I haven't been through a war for the past 4 years and seen a lot of people that I know and love dying. So I understand why he did it, and I think he's at peace with the choice that he knew he was going to be disqualified, but he wanted to use his platform to get his message out there.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think you're right. What's this with Tom Izzo's beloved mom, who is 99? What was the AI-generated poster?
So there was a couple weeks ago, I forgot the name of the player, but Tom Izzo was caught in, a huddle yelling at this player saying that
you couldn't guard my mother. I remember
my 99-year-old mother. And then somebody asked him about it. And he said, well, I meant it at the time. And then later he said, look, I don't like how it got out there in public. That was supposed to be something private between me and his player.
He told his guard, Kerr Tang,
yes,
you can't guard my mother. The legend of Dorothy Izzo has continued to grow from that statement. And somebody apparently made an AI
poster of Kerr Tang not guarding Tom Izzo's mom. So everyone seems to be taking it in stride. They have a good sense of humor about it. But I do respect Coach saying, look, I would have rather have that conversation stayed quiet between me and my player. But they're making the best of a situation that could have been kind of embarrassing.
And thank God it wasn't a negative thing against his mother, because crowds can be crazy now.
Right.
And in fact, I don't know her. I know Tom. I know how much he loves his mother. I bet she got the biggest kick out of that picture, poster, whatever it is they put together with her driving the key.
There's a picture somewhere where she's standing next to it. 99 years old, God bless her, but she's smiling, and I think everyone has a really good attitude about this.
I think so too. Even Tom had to smile when he saw that. I'm just saying, All right, we're underway with Relentless Positive Radio. The winning team: Mike Parsons, Danielle Mason, Rich Luzinski, number 5 in the entire country in midday talk shows, and we couldn't be happier. And we thank you for being a part of this. And watching in now, too, on our WJR Facebook and YouTube pages with live video streaming if you get the opportunity. It's just great to be with you here in Focus with Paul W. Smith on WJR. Well, it's Valentine's month. That's coming up this weekend. I hope you have some plans. I know Mike has some plans with his beloved Chelsea. But do you have plans? How about a plan to take care of yourself? How about a plan your family would be all in on to see you out of pain? Because our pain affects our family. It's Valentine's month. And if you want to love your life again and wake up pain-free, trust me on this one. I found this to be the case. I hope you'll call Dr. Saul Kogan at the Nerve and Disc Institute. Dr. Saul Kogan and the Nerve and Disc Institute ask about his non-surgical, non-invasive intradisc neutrosis treatment for severe and chronic back and neck pain. You could join his thousands of patients like me, like my beautiful Kim, like Bob, a retired police officer who had a bulging disc, couldn't walk, and now has no pain when on his feet. 7 hours straight working security at Comerica Park. How about Christina? Christina had 7 bulging discs, but is now, after seeing Dr. Saul Kogan and the team at the Nerve and Disc Institute, is now pain-free. Christina's pain-free. You see, intradisc neutrosis helps people with sciatica, spinal stenosis, bulging, and herniated discs, and degenerative disc disease. Avoid spine surgery. And Dr. Kogan's Knee Restore RX treatment helps people with osteoarthritis, meniscus tears, and muscle strains actually avoid knee replacement. Now, we're talking doing all of this without shots, pills, or downtime. And the first 50 callers mentioning WJR in February will get 50% off their treatment plan. 50%. It's the Nerve and Disc Institute in Farmington, Clinton Township, Grand Blanc, and now Bad Axe. You've been thinking about it. You might have even been talking about it. Now's the time to do it. Get in touch with Dr. Saul Kogan and his team at the Nerve and Disc Institute. Farmington, Clinton Township, Grand Blanc, Bad Axe. Call 586-416-DISC, 586-416-DISC, or 586-416-3472, 586-416-3472. I really, really believe you will be so glad that you've made this move toward feeling a lot better. 117 at 760 WJR.
Westwood One Sports presents this special update on the 2026 Winter Games. The United States began the day having won 12 medals, 10 over the last 2 days, and medal number 13 came today in women's cross-country skiing. Jessie Diggins, the 34-year-old from Minnesota, competing in her 4th and final games, won the bronze medal in the 10,000-meter free and said later she's the happiest winner of a bronze because she has battled a rib injury all week. Sweden won the gold and silver. The Swedes have won 7 of the 9 medals so far in women's cross-country. Italy continues to win a bunch of medals. Its 14th came today in the skiing Super G. Federica Brignone, at age 35, becomes the oldest winner of an alpine women's race in Olympic history. Freestyle skiing, the men's moguls went to a tiebreaker, and in a major upset, Cooper Woods from Australia won the gold. The Canadian Mikhail Kingsbury the silver. Woods has never won a World Cup race. Kingsbury has won over 100. Let's Winter Games update. John Stashauer, Westwood One Sports.
Need parts fast? Need them now? O'Reilly is fast. Just one part that makes O'Reilly Auto Parts stand apart. Right now at your local O'Reilly Auto Parts, you can get one free set of brake pads when you buy 2 qualifying brake rotors. Ask the professional parts people about additional brake pad and rotor upgrade options available at O'Reilly Auto Parts. Restrictions apply. See store for details.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
While retinitis pigmentosa takes Mark's vision, his family gives him hope, whether at the family business or at home with his wife and sons. He knows he's not fighting alone. For 50 years, the Foundation Fighting Blindness has funded research into treatments and cures for blinding retinal diseases, providing hope to people with vision loss. And for Mark, winning the fight means being there for his family. The Foundation Fighting Blindness. Together, we're winning. Help us end blinding disease.
Your child's education is the foundation for tomorrow's leaders. Listen Sundays at 3 p.m. for School Talks, hosted by Dr. Robert Livernoy. Sponsored by Must Construction Careers. Learn more at mustcareers.org.
WJR Traffic and Weather First.
This report is sponsored by Audible. It's time to take care of you. Who better to help you than the top voices in well-being on Audible? Kickstart your well-being journey with your first audiobook free when you sign up for a 30-day trial at audible.com/wellbeing.
WJR Traffic and Weather First is sponsored by Weather Seal Home Improvements. Over 60% of us will use our tax refunds towards a home improvement project this year. Upgrade your roof with Weather Seal Home Improvements and add an extra $1,000 to your refund toward your new roof. That's a smart deal. Book your roof inspection today at weathersealhomeimprovements.net. That's weathersealhomeimprovements.net. The US 23 southbound off-ramp to eastbound I-94 is closed due to an accident. That crash on I-94 westbound at Chick Road is cleared, and moving roadwork slows you down on the southbound Southfield Freeway between 8 Mile and Pinecrest Drive. That's scheduled until 2:30 this afternoon. Now, WJR Weather First from the Weather Channel. Here's your forecast.
Dry weather expected rolling through the afternoon. Expect dry streets with more clouds than sun. 30 tonight, 18, mainly cloudy. Suburbs probably see some low to mid-teens. The weekends, sunny tomorrow, milder, upper 30s, and we stay mild Saturday, Sunday, and Monday, and no precipitation. Saturday, sunny. Sunday and Monday, partly sunny. Highs close to 40 all 3 days. I'm meteorologist Ray Stijic from the Weather Channel, 760 WJR, where Michigan comes to talk.
Coming up Friday on JR Morning, Mike Duggan's gone to the Dogs. We'll tell you what that means. We'll also celebrate Black History Month with the Charles H. Wright Museum, and we'll hear from MSU head basketball coach Tom Izzo. Also, it's Friday the 13th. Why is that unlucky? We'll discuss. Make sure you tune in on the free WJR app. We'll talk to you at 6 a.m.
All righty. We love having our next guest on. And people have said to me, Paul, why do you always have them say a prayer? Because in my world, once a pastor, always a pastor. Once a pastor, always a man of God, unless he would prove otherwise, and he never has and never will. He is the congressman, Republican from the 5th District. He is Congressman Tim Waldberg. Always a pleasure having you on board. And I'll give you a heads up. I rarely do this. And I don't know what you can do about this. You say good prayers because that's what you do. But we really need a healing, unifying prayer in this country. All you had to do was watch Attorney General Pam Bondi defending her leadership at the Justice Department to House lawmakers yesterday, and you would say, we are out of control as a country. It's not what we, the people, want to see. We supposedly stepped up from the entertainment of, but it appears, Congressman, we're going right back into the pit.
Yeah, Paul W. It is embarrassing to see that, and more than embarrassing, it is concerning that we've got to the point that we can't disagree without a fight. And I don't think America was made that way. We fought enemy countries, but we generally held together. Now, I know there were duels amongst members of Congress and vice presidents in the past that happened, and canings that took place on the floor of the House, but it wasn't an everyday occurrence. And sadly now, sometimes it seems like it's at least an every weekly occurrence. And the badgering that goes on. I'm thankful to say in the committee I chair, Education and Workforce, you could let a second grade class watch our committee hearings and you won't be embarrassed. And we try to keep it that way. Bobby Scott from Virginia, my ranking member, he and I work together so well. We're good friends, and we believe that education and workforce issues are so important that we ought to find ways to work together and realize that in the end, when we mark up a bill, that we won't all agree on amendments, and someone will lose in the voting process, but we live to fight another battle and do it in the proper way.
One of the things we wanted you to address is SAVE the Save America Act, the Safeguard American Voter Eligibility, which will require Americans to prove they are citizens when they register to vote, mostly through a valid U.S. passport or birth certificate. Could also require a valid photo identification before voters can cast ballots. Some states are already doing that, but it's being roundly fought by the Democrats. And I honestly can't figure out why. There's not a legitimate reason not to insist that for something as important as our vote wouldn't get the same rules as going into a concert or buying a ticket or even going to visit somebody in the legislature. I mean, ID is not something that's so hard to get. We're only doing that for people who aren't going to be able to get it. I think that's racist in pretending that there's a group of people in America that can't get an ID other than the ones who are here illegally, that the Democrats are hoping on them voting for them.
Well, you're right. You're right. Last time you got a right to drive, you had a driver's license with a picture ID on it. When you open a bank account, you have an ID requirement. When you buy certain cold medicine, you have to show a picture ID. It includes your age. You have to, when you buy a beer, if you want to do that, you need to show an ID unless you're an old guy like me. Then they just assume it. But even in the last Democrat National Convention, they required picture IDs to attend before you could get in on the convention floor. So I find it hard to understand why Chuck Schumer says this is a Jim Crow law that we passed, when in fact he said the same thing about election security laws like 2021, when Georgia passed an election integrity legislation, and Senator Schumer called it Jim Crow 2.0, and yet in the turnout of that 2022 election, they experienced a record turnout, and especially among minority groups. So no, I think it is a demeaning statement to try to indicate that there are some groups that aren't smart enough or aren't well-versed enough that they can't figure out how to have the documentation to prove that they're an American citizen when they register to vote. If you're registered already, we're not requiring that. All we say is that you have to show an ID when you come. But if you're just registering to vote, you have to also prove that you're a citizen. And we've seen reasons why, because there are certain cities like New York that now allow in their elections non-citizens to vote. We know in the state of Michigan, our Secretary of State has allowed people registered for jury pools. Just recently, we looked into those jury pools, found out they weren't citizens, and oh, by the way, they were registered to vote. So it's a concern. And people say, well, it's only a few people. Well, how do we know that? But why don't we make sure that everybody, Democrat and Republican, believe that the ballot is secure and only citizens are voting for Democrats or Republicans?
The ultimate hypocrisy of the Democrats is being against this. There's no legitimate argument against this. And as you pointed out, they even enforce it for their own events.
Right. And one Democrat did vote for this yesterday, but that was it. All of the rest opposed it. And then you have Chuck Schumer, as we're debating the Homeland Security bill, mandating that ICE cannot be anywhere near a ballot facility, an election facility. Well, why is that? Could it be that he wants non-citizens to vote? So that's why I shouldn't be there?
If they're American citizens in the end, they don't have to worry about that, do they? I guess. Right. Once a pastor, as you were, always a pastor as far as I'm concerned, a man of God. And boy, could we use a prayer, a healing, unifying prayer for this entire country today. I don't care what party you represent or anything else. We all need to somehow come back together and understand that this is our country that is being torn apart. And this isn't good for any of us. So if you would, I would really appreciate it, Congressman Tim Walberg.
Great, thank you. We had a wonderful prayer time in our bipartisan prayer breakfast this morning. And Jonathan Jackson from Chicago and I are brothers, and we prayed together something like this. God, I pray that you would heal our land, that you would draw us together, that you would see us not as enemies, but partakers in the greatest experiment in constitutional democracy this world has ever seen, the hope of the world. And so let's behave like that with joy, working together with each other, creative tension that comes. Let's be willing to, in compassion and sincerity, work toward a conclusion that works for all of us in the best way possible and produce great freedoms that the world can look at in an example from the United States of America. And it's in the name of the Father, Son, and Holy Spirit, I pray. Amen.
God bless you, Pastor, Congressman, Republican 5th District, Tim Walberg. We'll look forward to speaking with you again, sir, as we always do.
Thank you, brother. Thank you.
We continue in focus with Paul W. Smith right here on WJR. And if you're like me, if you're like virtually anyone listening, you may have wondered why health insurance costs seem to keep going up. Well, I did a little research online. I've been associated with Blue Cross Blue Shield of Michigan for years and years, and I'm thrilled to be a part of the best health insurance company there is. I did find some surprising information on their very website, Blue Cross Blue Shield of Michigan's website, mibluedaily.com/affordability, which I highly recommend you check into on a regular basis. That's MI, like in Michigan, mibluedaily.com/affordability. Even I was surprised to learn back then that the cost Blue Cross pays for prescription drugs rose by a staggering 15% last year. 15%. That was 5 times higher than inflation. It's no wonder healthcare costs are a concern for so many of us, including Tricia Keith, the president and CEO of Blue Cross Blue Shield of Michigan. And that's why Tricia Keith and the entire family and team of Blue Cross Blue Shield of Michigan is working so hard to help all of us better understand the factors driving up healthcare costs and sharing what they're doing as a business to address it. Because Blue Cross knows that healthcare is personal. Healthcare needs to work for everyone. And in healthcare especially, affordability matters. I encourage you to take a minute, check out mibluedaily.com/affordability. mibluedaily.com/affordability. Get informed. You'll be glad you did, because it's eye-opening information that can help everyone, all of us, better understand the complexities of the healthcare system and the impact on our health insurance costs. And remember this. This might be the hardest thing to remember, but it is the truth. Healthcare is personal, not political. Let's all remember that as we continue in Focus on WJR.
You know, I was doing a podcast with Chris Alberta from Principium talking about planning for retirement. And boy, did he bring home a great point. As I'm looking at the price of coffee or the price of beef going up, it makes me anxious.
Yeah, and it should. Look, the reality is that when you have a firm like ours, we don't traditionally lose clients. So they're long, ongoing relationships. And communication is key. When someone calls me 6 months or 1 year into a plan that we've built, and they say, Chris, we've been drawing $6,000, $7,000, $8,000 a month from our our portfolio, but we're becoming a little bit uncomfortable. The savings account is becoming a little bit dry. Great. That's why we built it the way we did, because I know that if we're operating at a minimum and we need to twist that dial up, right, and really pad the coffers a little bit more, we have the ability to do that. My job is to tell you, if the capital you have saved up is not capable mathematically of providing the income you need, you either need to work longer or adjust your expenditures.
Call Chris Alberta today, 888-800-8949. That's 888-800-8949.
President Trump said, "I like Newsmax. You like it too." It's true. Millions of Americans agree with President Trump, and they're switching to Newsmax for the news they can trust. They're watching great shows with Greta, Carl Higbie, Rob Schmidt, Finnerty, and more. If you're tired of big media, start watching Newsmax. It's free to start. Go to newsmaxplus.com for immediate access. Get all of President Trump's most important events live. Imagine watching Mike Huckabee's Israel special, our Melania documentary, Clint Eastwood, Charlie Kirk specials, even the movie Jesus of Nazareth by Franco Zeffirelli. Once you start Newsmax Plus, you won't stop. So try it for free. Go to newsmaxplus.com, then download the app. It's easy. So make the switch to Newsmax Plus today.
This is an important notice to all U.S. taxpayers. The IRS is giving away billions of dollars in tax savings through a federal program called the Fresh Start Initiative to aid delinquent taxpayers. This initiative was established for anyone facing financial hardship and unable to pay their back taxes. Qualifying and enrolling in this program will stop all collections, settle your delinquent tax problem, and even reduce what you owe by thousands of dollars. Call the hotline at People's Tax Relief to see if you qualify and get this free information by dialing 800-337-0607. If you have unfiled tax returns or cannot afford to pay your personal or business back taxes, you can now get the help you need. One simple phone call can resolve your tax problem and save you thousands of dollars. To see if you qualify and to get this important free information, call 800-337-0607, 800-337-0607, 800-337-0607.
The headlines are full of major legal cases, both locally and nationally. But do we ever really get the inside story? Join Todd Flood of Flood Law on Behind the Bench this Monday at 8 p.m. to get the inside story. Todd will speak with judges, attorneys, and other special guests to explain what the real legal issues are behind the biggest cases. Todd will also discuss the current legal landscape and what you need to do to navigate the system for your best outcome. Behind the Bench with Todd Flood this Monday at 8 p.m.
Dan Bongino returns.
It's real. You better produce something fast.
And he's not holding back.
Dan, that's backwards. No, I'm telling you the truth.
Hard truths and a bold perspective no one else can offer.
You may not hear this anywhere else. I'm always under the assumption that you're being played, we're being played. Man, this show continues to expand its footprint. I love you guys for it.
It's the comeback everyone's been waiting for.
If there was ever a time, it is this one.
The Dan Bongino Show. Follow and listen on your favorite platform.
More than just a radio show, it's an entertaining daily look at the heart of the community.
I'm Mitch Albom.
And I'm Ken Brown.
And our show, The Mitch Albom Show, is one that makes you laugh and think and feel at home after a long day at work.
The Mitch Albom Show, making a difference in your life.
So if the guy in the car next to you is laughing, they're listening to The Mitch Albom Show.
4 till 6 p.m. on 760 WJR. Thanks for listening to WJR and Focus. Here's Paul W. Smith.
As we continue on this Thursday, February 12th, so happy to be with you, doing our best with relentless positive radio with the team. Mike Parsons, Daniel Mason, Rich Luzinski, as you're on your way to making each and every day count, because you know each day is a gift. It's the QTR we don't know too much about. We don't know how much quality time remaining we have. So therefore, live life to the fullest. If you're not living the life you always thought you would live, it's never too late to start living that life. And by the way, thanks again for choosing to tune in and be an important part of the best and brightest audience in all of radio. That's what happens when you tune in to WJR and the team that we have here and that we're very proud of. All right, this is crazy. You know, on did it happen Tuesday, Wednesday, maybe? The FAA announced something that certainly caught my attention and maybe yours too. An unprecedented 10-day airspace shutdown over El Paso, Texas. I never heard of such a thing. Now, it lasted 8 hours, but they said 10 days. And I thought, what in the world is going on? And whenever I ask that question out loud, I say, what would Jeff Manasso say at a time like this? So I'm calling upon Jeff, Fox News correspondent and excellent WJR contributor. Jeff Manasso, what happened in El Paso's airspace?
Well, my friend, if you look at the Pentagon Pizza Index, it's the theory that suggesting pizza demand around the Pentagon may rise before significant political or military developments. It'll show you that significant amount of pizzas were ordered Tuesday night at or near the Pentagon into Wednesday, with the poly market, a spike on poly market up to 33% chance that U.S. anti-cartel ground operations in Mexico would happen at least in March. It's now down to 18%. But speaking of crazy and absurd, the answer is I can't tell you, and nobody can really explain what happened. I mean, we're digging into it. We'll let you know. But the official story is that the FAA's temporary flight restriction at El Paso International Airport has left us with more questions than answers. The Trump administration saying it was Mexican cartel drones. The restriction initially prohibiting all aircraft operations over U.S. airspace, including commercial, cargo, general aviation flights, and it was set to last 10 days. That was strange, but the airport reopened within hours, and the FAA says there was no threat to commercial aviation. The Department of Transportation says the cause of the closure was Mexican cartel drones, citing special security reasons as a catalyst for the closure. The Department of War saying it neutralized the threat. You've got the mayor there in El Paso saying that drones are flown all the time between along the border between El Paso and Juarez. But there are conflicting reports from other news outlets, CBS, the New York Times, others reporting that the military was conducting tests of counter-drone technology that failed to coordinate with aviation officials. Multiple other outlets reporting that the technology in question was a high-powered military laser used to potentially shoot down cartel drones that the military pushed to test before the FAA could lock down safety procedures. The Pentagon not giving any of the details, but
possibly one hand not knowing what the other hand is doing.
Could be, yeah. It could be just a lack of communication. We're also told that a party balloon was the cause of another closure in which earlier in the week, anti-drone technology was used to shoot it down. They thought it was a drone. It turned out to be one of those Mylar party balloons. No word on what it read on the side of it, or if it read anything at all. But so yeah, there's a lot going on there. But all this kind of it's notable, Paul, that both nations are both kind of on edge over drug cartels. You got President Trump designating cartels a military threat, signing them as a terrorist designation. He even went on to ask Claudia Sheinbaum, Mexico's president, if she needed help to attack and destroy cartels. She said no, but Trump has hinted, I should say, that land-based military strikes against cartels within Mexico may be necessary. That's what we have for you.
Well, I got to tell you, I never thought of this, but now everybody has, including terrorists. That is, we all learned what a flock of birds could do to a plane, famously with Captain Sully landing in the Hudson River with his airplane after a flock of birds. Imagine a flock of drones going into the engines, which is very easy to do, but I've never worried about it. But thankfully, people are now more than ever concerned about it. And most of us didn't know the military has been developing this high energy laser technology to actually intercept and destroy drones. We're going to need those at every airport, but especially there along the border. And there's got to be better communication. I mean, they shutting down the airspace for 10 days was mind-blowing. It only lasted 8 hours, but somebody was making a point, I think, Jeff, and point made. Appreciate your help, and when you find out more, I know you'll let us know.
You got it, my friend.
The famous Jeff Manasso, Fox News correspondent and great WJR contributor, with Paul W. Smith in focus right here at WJR at 144.
Enrolls you in a recurring automated marketing text messages. Consent not required to purchase. Message and data rates may apply.
The team's looking good this season.
I think so. Man, I miss playing football. Ever since I turned 40, I just can't find that fire I used to have.
Think it could be lower testosterone?
What do you mean?
I was feeling the same way. After 40, the body has less testosterone, and men lose their edge. That's why I take Nugenix Total T2.
That's the testosterone booster, right?
Yes, but Total T2 is their brand new formula that skyrockets nitric oxide levels in as little as 3 hours. Since I started taking it, I've been lifting like when we played for Coach Carter. My energy is way up, and it even spiced up things between me and the missus.
Are they still giving out complimentary bottles?
Yep, just send a text.
Text HIM to 215215 for your complimentary bottle of Nugenix Total T2, the next generation testosterone booster. Text now and we'll include a bottle of Nugenix Thermo X, our newest, most powerful fat burner ever, absolutely free. Text HIM to 215215. That's HIM to 215215.
These statements have not been evaluated by the FDA. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease. Paid for by Adaptive Health.
Taxes was waiting on the refund you needed yesterday.
All right, your car repair is going to run about $3,000.
Ugh. Now Taxes is getting back on the road with TurboTax and Credit Karma, where you can get your refund up to 5 days faster and get personalized guidance to take every dollar further. Now this is Taxes. Intuit Credit Karma with TurboTax. Deposit a federal refund into Credit Karma Money account and early submission of refund data by IRS required. Terms apply. Banking services provided by MVB Bank, Inc. Member FDIC. Credit Karma is not a bank.
Want to make the most of your tax refund? File with TurboTax on Intuit Credit Karma. They help you get your biggest refund, and then we help you do more with it with a personalized plan designed to help you hit your money goals. Start filing today in the Credit Karma app.
At Average Amy's Coffee Corner, our coffee has caffeine, our muffins are cooked, and our services, well, we're here. Come on by for an average cup of joe.
Average doesn't build great businesses. Cumulus Digital does, outperforming industry benchmarks by more than 25%. We deliver smarter digital marketing to over 4,000 local businesses every month and drive real, measurable growth. You're not average. Your marketing results shouldn't be either. Visit cumulusdigital.com to start outperforming today.
Hi, it's Dave Lorenz. The key to a great getaway is to know a bit about the place and to leave plenty of opportunity for discovery. We'll show you the way on the Michigan Travel Show, Sundays at 4 on 760 WJR.
The American Red Cross is facing a severe blood shortage, and donors are needed right now to make sure life-saving care isn't delayed for accident victims, surgery patients, and those facing critical treatments for cancer and chronic blood disorders. The Red Cross blood supply has dropped about 35% in recent weeks. There's no time to wait. Make an appointment today to give blood by using the Red Cross Blood Donor app, visiting redcrossblood.org, or calling 1-800-RED-CROSS to schedule your donation. Take action and help save lives.
The Mega Millions drawing comes on.
Tonight's winning numbers are...
You look at your ticket.
Whoa.
A little luck could go a long way.
Friday's Mega Millions jackpot is $385 million.
Not sure how to tackle your taxes? Are you sweating the small print? You may be experiencing FOMO, the fear of messing up. The answer? Using TurboTax on Intuit Credit Karma. They help you get your biggest refund, and then we help you do more with it with a personalized plan designed to help you hit your money goals. It's time to take your taxes to the max. Start filing today in the Credit Karma app. Finding excuses to not do your taxes? Well, you can start today and file for free with TurboTax on Intuit Credit Karma. Just file on your own in the Credit Karma app by February 28th, and you'll pay $0. Start filing for free today. Offer only for those who didn't file with TurboTax last year.
Pizza's here.
Oh, great. I'd love some, but I'm worried about my stomach issues.
If you're worried about having diarrhea, gas, bloating, stomach pain, or loose, oily stools, it may not just be stomach issues. It could be a condition called exocrine pancreatic insufficiency, or EPI. With EPI, the pancreas doesn't release enough enzymes to break down food, but EPI is manageable. Use the symptom checker on identifyepi.com and talk to your doctor. That's identifyepi.com. Sponsored by AbbVie.
Welcome back to Winter Hack Radio, the place for clever hacks to survive the season. Icy driveway? Well, try spreading sand or birdseed to help with traction. Snowy puppy paws? Well, grab a whisk, brush it off, done. Catch COVID-19? Well, just get...
Actually, there's no hack for COVID-19. But if you test positive, prescription medications for COVID exist. Ask your doctor if they're right for you. Visit PfizerForAll.com to learn more. Sponsored by Pfizer.
Be sure to start every Sunday at 8 a.m. with JR Sunday with Mark Hollis. Great interviews and conversations all in one place on JR Sunday with Mark Hollis, sponsored by Tryon, your payroll and HR solution. To learn more and to reach out to Tryon, go to relyontryon.com.
WJR Traffic and Weather First.
This report is sponsored by Mattress Firm. Score major deals on top brands at Mattress Firm's President's Day sale. Find your dream mattress today. Their sleep experts are highly trained to find the right one to fit your unique needs. They make sleep easy.
WJR Traffic and Weather First is sponsored by PM Technologies. Is your home standby generator surviving the winter? Has the oil been changed and the battery checked or replaced? Make sure you let PM Technologies take care of your generator so that you're ready for the winter. Visit pmtech.org. That's pmtech.org. to schedule your PM Technologies generator maintenance today. It's a slow go on I-75 northbound between 9 Mile and I-696. We've got a disabled vehicle blocking the I-94 eastbound off-ramp to Merriman Road. That wreck on I-94 eastbound at Warren Avenue is cleared. Still have that moving roadwork blocking your left lane on I-94 westbound between 8 Mile and East Outer Drive. That's slated to wrap up by 2:30 this afternoon. And more moving roadwork on the southbound Southfield Freeway between 8 Mile and Pinecrest. That should wrap up around the same time. Now, WJR Weather First from the Weather Channel. Here's your forecast.
Dry weather and a warming trend as temperatures go back above average by tomorrow and hold there through the weekend. 30 this afternoon, slightly below normal. Seeing a little more cloud come in. Tonight, overcast for a time, 18 degrees. Suburbs will be a little bit colder. Friday, sun's back, upper 30s. Saturday, sunny, upper 30s, maybe 40. Then on Sunday and President's Day, Monday, partly sunny with a high temperature close to 40 both days. From the Weather Channel, I'm meteorologist Ray Stagicon, 760 WJR, where Michigan comes to talk.
Call us or text us. The number's the same. 1-800-859-0957. 1-800-859-WJR. Powered by Michigan Auto Law, Auto Accident Attorneys. Visit autolaw.com. That's autolaw.com.
Alrighty, is there anything, Mike Parsons, that we've missed out of all the different stories we've been covering? I look at my list here. The Ukrainian star disqualified because of the helmet. We know the French judges' score was fixed on the Shock and Bates, giving them the lowest score on the 9-person panel so that the French could win.
The passing of James Vanderbeek at 48. He was a very popular actor. I watched
Dawson's Creek.
Yeah, watched it in middle school. I watched it again in college because it was on right exactly when I had a break from classes. And so, yeah, that was sad to see. He had colorectal cancer and he was 48. And it's just a reminder to get yourself checked younger and younger.
Yeah, and you know, we have a doctor on that talks about that every year. But we need to talk with him again because James Vanderbeek was just 48, and there are more and more younger people getting colorectal cancer than ever before.
Yep, my sister's husband passed away at 44 from colorectal cancer. So, you know, it can happen to everyone. He was vegetarian and all that, so it's not like it's just happening to people not taking care of themselves.
Nope. It is. There's something going on.
Right.
I don't know what it is. I don't know that anyone knows for sure. what it is. And we'll have our friend from Henry Ford back on. Why can't I think of his name right now? You know,
because there's so many great experts we talk to from Henry Ford.
Yeah, we do. But this guy's fabulous, and I can't think of his name, and it's bothersome. But
we'll get him on.
We'll get him on because we have his name and number. He's a great guy. I just am having one of those moments where I just can't think of it on the fly like this. But we've talked with him before about the fact that there are younger and younger people getting colorectal cancer. And if you do the things you're supposed to do, get a colonoscopy, stay on top of this, no one should ever die of this because they can catch it early.
Right.
And there's a lot of room to work with in your colon. Said the guy who's running past due for his own test, but I'll get that coming up.
And that's a silver lining with these high-profile deaths. It reminds you, okay, I got to make sure I stay on top of my own health.
Absolutely correct. So we need to do that. I don't think there's nothing new on the Nancy Guthrie case. They found some gloves, 1 or 2 gloves, look like the gloves. I would think it'd be another great bit of evidence that can lead to someone. Can you take fingerprints off from inside a glove?
You know what? I'm not sure, but I would imagine, especially if you're wearing gloves in Arizona, there'd be some sweat and some DNA in there at the very, very least.
At the very least, some DNA.
Yeah.
So if this person's ever had any time with law enforcement, that would be very helpful.
Right, because they'd be in the database.
Yeah. All right. I think we got everything. I think we pretty much left a few topics for Ryan or Monty. I'm sure he's going to scrape something together. Oh, I know what he should do. He can talk about the Progressive Detroit Boat Show that is underway right now through February 15th this year in Novi. Did you find your way to Novi okay, Ryan?
I did, although it does feel, being an East Sider, like this is the other side of the earth to me. But nonetheless, this boat show here at now the Vibe Credit Union, it used to be at Huntington Place downtown. There's a scheduling conflict. Let me tell you, I was walking
We
around.
were there for years, but now you've got an even bigger location, I think.
And it seems so much more full here. You get a chance to see all the boats, and you don't.
Maybe it's a smaller
Yeah,
location, so they're pushed in together. I don't know.
Or they packed more boats in. One or the other.
Or maybe they're really at the Vibe Credit Union and not the Vibe Credit Union showplace, which is where it's supposed to be.
Hey, I do want to tell you, Paul W. and Mike Parsons, you two deserve congratulations today. Number 5 in the country. Are you kidding me?
Isn't that nice?
That is
the team. Mike Parsons, Daniel Mason, Rich Luzinski. We all work very hard every day, and to get that to beat out people. We were beaten by a couple in New York and a Los Angeles station, but we beat a lot of New York and much larger market stations with frankly limited resources. And we're not even in the top 10 anymore, but for WJR and for Focus with Paul W. Smith to be 5th rated midday show in the country, it's something to be proud of. I'm sure we'll hear from management. They'll send out a note to everybody. So they're not just hearing it from us. That's what they usually do. They might be waiting to see how you do, Ryan, or how anyone else does, but I think they should send a note out today for us, and then they can send another one out tomorrow or the next day. The more good notes, the merrier.
No doubt about it, Paul. And let me just say, it is a testament. It is seriously a testament to how good you are, how long you've done it, the sustainability of this show. My goodness, great work. Also, I do want to plug at 2:35 today, we're going to have Congresswoman Debbie Dingell on to talk about her no vote for the SAVE Act. Going to have a conversation about that.
Well, that's one that needs to be had. And have you heard from your wonderful in-laws, Paul and Robin Stanford? They are real voters. Have they asked you to keep an eye out?
He just texted me 30 seconds ago.
See, I somehow know these things. Stand by for news in JR Afternoon with Ryan Ermani at the Vibe Credit Union Showplace for the Progressive Detroit Boat Show. Regards, Paul W. Smith.
I was doing a podcast